Hello every pony, Dale over here. Warning, this video will contain pictures from Google and YouTube that is not mine, so please give respect to the owners of these pictures and copyrights. Also warning, it's going to contain my own personally opinion about the show My Little Pony, so if you don't like stuff like that or haven't watched the show, warning for spoilers, and I recommend that you go and watch the show instead of hearing me blabber around about this. But I actually fallen apart, found this theory out there, and I think it's interesting to see our theories running around in the fandom, or how to say that. And not that recently, I actually also made a fan theory about sort of the same idea, but not quite. This is the Dragon Trainer 201, and his theory is, as you can see here, Celestia and Luna was Earth ponies before they became alicorns. And I am actually agreeing a little with this, even though I think maybe the base idea was they started out as unicorns or Pegasi, and then they got their horns or wings with Starlight's the Bearded's help. But I'm if this is true, they also have had a lot of potential, and he makes it sound like it makes sense, because the Earth ponies had that secret way of having senses for things, and both Celestia and Luna had, premonitions of stuff happening in the future, and the only ponies we have seen doing stuff like that is Pinkie Pie. So yeah, I could see how the theory has merit, and I would love it to be true, because then I'm spot on with my background story, that also is that my OC started out as a Earth pony, then became a unicorn, and then became a alicorn. So I would love this to be true, but sadly I don't think that's a factor. But I think it makes a lot of sense, and it also mirrors a little of the theory that I have had made. And of course I'm going to leave a link to all of the theories and all of the ones that I'm talking about here down in the description below, so you can see the full theory for yourselves. But talking about my own, I had is Alicorn, a reborn pony, where I explain about how I feel that's a thing more than them being born as something in particular. But it could actually work if they're a natural born Earth ponies, and the only thing that they had help getting from Starsword the Bearded would being getting the magic, getting their horns, or getting their way of doing magic, or how to say that. So they not only evolved one time, but they actually rediscovered or rebirthed themselves 2 times. But I think that's a little bit too much for this theory to hold up. So I think only 1 time is enough. And we also see that with Twilight's transformation. That's a good example. She only needed to do this 1 time. Of course, she is a unicorn, so yeah, there's always the possibility, as I said, about Celestia and Luna being reborn or remade twice themselves. But as we see in this, it's Twilight herself, her own magic, that changes her. Celestia is not helping her in any way, shape or form, and I explain in my video how I feel the magic is rebirthing the unicorn, or how to say that, making them stronger, and then they can evolve into a alicorn when they reinvent themselves, when they find that specific place in their life where they know they are ready to move on to the next stage, or how to say that. So yeah, I don't know how to else explain it, but I think like I have also talked a little about like how it's possible for flurry heart to actually be a thing then if we took my theory into account. But now I'm also thinking about like the first theory again that said like if they're starting out born as a earth pony, you know, like then in the when yeah, Flurry Heart was inside of Cadence, she would have been a earth pony to start with, and then she would have gotten her horn or her wings with love, and then like she would have been born a true born alicorn. And that's why Celestia and Luna was so surprised, because like of course if they started out as earth ponies or they started out as unicorns or Pegasi, it wouldn't be a thing that have ever been seen before. And the specific thing that I mentioned in the start with like it being possible that Starswell the Bearded actually helped them getting the unicorn horn or the magic that they needed to like raise the sun and lower the moon. I think like that makes it more feasible for something like Flurry Heart to actually exist, because if you're thinking about it, like the magic from Cadence and Shining Armor should be enough to give their Flurry Heart both a wings and horn. And like we know, like the only thing that it needs help with is the horn, so the wings it just did by itself, you know, like Twilight did. It's its own magic, and like and when it's still not born, I don't think it thinks about like it's there at that point in its life where it knows that it's becoming a alicorn. It's just becoming a alicorn, if that makes any sense. Or it actually got its wings right as it was birthed. I have no idea how that would work, but I think like it's funny to think about. Even though like the show is over now and stuff like that, I'm still like intrigued about like if it's really true that the writers were thinking about like Celestia and Luna being like born earth ponies and then either reinvent themselves 2 times, getting rebirthed as I said 2 times, or like only a 1 time with the first being like help from Starswell the Bearded to get their magic, and then the wings is something that the alicorn themselves think like they're coming to a point where they think like they deserve their wings, or how to say that, like they just know like this is the point of their lives where they have to evolve, or like where they have as I said in my video, reinvented themselves and come so far and did so much, so like they have done a specific thing like Twilight with inventing new magic. So yeah, I have no idea how that is working. I still like think magic and love is basically the same thing as I said in my video, so that's also why it's so unexplainable. And like where Flurry Heart is born out of true love, like she couldn't have been anything else than an alicorn, then it makes like total sense for me at least. But I don't know about you guys, but I'll leave a link to my theory and to the other one down in the description down below. Remember to take care of yourself and each other. Do remember that inspiration is right around the corner, and do remember to take care of everybody else. Yeah, I know like this was maybe a little longer than I usually do, but I just think it was funny to find a theory that mirrors mine a little bit. Not quite, but yeah, I don't know, maybe I should do that more into the future. I'll find other theories that I have in common with others and say what I feel and how I feel about that. I think like that's could be a really good idea. So yeah, but that was actually all. Okay, yeah, bye bye.